Now I'd like to welcome to CCN Marlee Langfield and Wendy Langfield, who are all the way over in Canada. Now we've never done this before, so they've graciously agreed to do an interview by Skype, so we'll see how it goes. Now Marlee and Wendy have just spent, the last 12 months in Canada? Is it 12 months now, or is it more?
It'll nearly be 12 months, but yeah.
Right.
Just 12.
You've got the phone ringing too. You're lucky. We've both had that. Now, when did you actually leave Cowra? We'll go from there.
So we left Cowra in the first week of December to head over to Canada.
Right. Now, the idea was to spend about 12 months over there, wasn't it?
Yep, or even a little bit more if we could.
Okay. Now, the reason you went over there is because you had somewhere to stay, I presume.
Yes, I guess you could say that. We just had the opportunity, and so we took it.
Okay, so now you would have been...
Stepped out of the square we lived in Australia and decided to come across here, join family, not live with family, but join family, and enjoy ourselves. See what life is like on this side of the world.
And going on what we've seen from the postcards that Marlee's been sending, you've certainly had a wonderful time.
Yep, been here, there and everywhere.
Now, what are some of the trips you did? You went to Hawaii at one stage, and you went to Disneyland.
Yep.
And what were some of the other places?
Yep.
Some of the other places you went to were where?
We've been down to Arizona in the US, so in other words, the middle of the desert.
Yep.
San Francisco. I've been to New York. We've been to the east coast of Canada, so Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island, Cape Breton Island, Iowa in the US, which is the heart of, I guess, the farming country down there where they grow their wheat.
And a lot of corn.
Yeah, we've been to Saskatchewan, which is the border province to the east of our state where we're staying, which is kind of like out in the back of whoop whoop sort of thing. It's very flat out there.
Not farming country. Basically, it's the prairies, and that's where they grow a lot of wheat and canola. There's just miles and miles of prairies, silos, wheat fields, canola fields.
And they say if you lose your dog, you can see it running away for 3 weeks.
That sounds like an Australianism, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's right.
Now, and that's about it.
Right.
And we went to Disneyland again before we come home to Australia, just to see the Christmas lights.
Oh, that'll be lovely. Now, what have you found that's different about Canada than hometown Cowra? What are some of the things that you've sort of thought, oh, that's a bit different?
The cold weather, snow, the minus 25, 27, 30 degrees.
The food. Yeah, we miss the good old sausages from the Cowra butcher. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
That'll be one of the first things I'll be eating when I get home. Yeah. Sausage.
Sausage sandwich.
Yeah.
And they don't have clotheslines over here. There's no clotheslines. Everything's done in a very large commercial type dryer within the unit or within the house.
Okay, and that's standard through every place over there, every house?
Basically, you see a few of the farmhouses with clotheslines, but not the round rotary clotheslines like we're used to. A bit like the long, old-fashioned clothesline.
So no hills hoist. We didn't invade that market.
Definitely not. No.
Okay. Now you were talking about food being different. When there's no sausages, well, that's a bit sad. But what other foods are there that you wouldn't normally have here? Can you think of anything that's sort of different that you would eat there that you wouldn't normally eat here, wouldn't normally expect to find here?
They eat a lot more fresh vegetables. You know, when you go to somebody's place and you have an appetizer or something like that, we have crackers and cheese, that sort of thing. Over here you have dip and fresh veggies, as in broccoli, cauliflower, celery, beans, peas, and you dip that into the dip. They eat a lot more of that sort of thing. Yeah. But the thing we notice most is everything is so sweet, so big, and there's so much of it. A bit like America.
So, I suppose it's a rude question to ask, but you're going to come back slim, trim, taut and terrific, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. We work extra hard at the gym, but yeah, you know what happens.
Now, Marlee...
It's not America, but yeah.
Now, Marlee, with your school, now, the school you went to is a private school, isn't it?
Yes, I guess you could call that, yep.
Right. Now, what's the difference between going to Cowra High School and going to the school you've gone to?
Okay then, where do I start? Well, I'm going to a Catholic school over here, which is just an amazing, well-teachered school sort of thing. The teachers really want to make sure that you do well in your subjects and they care for you, and I guess if you're not doing too well, they'll make sure that you're back on track, which I think it's great. They really do care for you. And
example, you come in before school, you come in at lunchtime, or you're there after school with the teachers who are all willing to give up their time to help you out. They're always available for you.
Okay, now was it an all boys, an all girls school or a co-ed school, Marlee?
Co-ed.
Right. Now you would have been in what's the equivalent to your year 10?
So like right now, I'm in grade 11.
Okay, so they must start school a year earlier, do they? Is that the way it works?
Yes, they start their school year in September. So in September, I went from finishing grade 10 and started grade 11. Okay,
now how's that going to go when you come back? So I presume you'll be going into year 11 in 2012.
Yep, that's right. It should all work out pretty well because the time that I had here, I was able to get done all the courses in grade 10 that I need to, just slip back in at home for grade 11. So right now, since September, I've kind of just been taking option classes to sort of be more relaxed in the classes to what I was doing when I first came over, which I had to do all the academic ones so that I could catch up on all that I had missed sort of thing.
So when you come back, you won't have to do bridging courses or anything to go straight into year 11?
I shouldn't have to. I should just be able to slip right in and pick up where I left off.
Okay, and of course, what are you looking forward to most, other than sausages? What are you looking forward to most coming back to Australia?
Right now, the weather would be quite nice. But although it has warmed up here of late, but it's been quite cold for the past week. We got down to our minus 22, which was cold enough. But I'll be quite happy to get home and put some shorts on, that's for sure. And see all my friends and the usual. Eat some good sausages. Be back home on the floor. Sleep in my own bed with my own pillows. I'll be looking forward to the pillows.
And the wide open space.
Sorry?
Yeah. And the wide open space.
The wide open spaces. How did you get on with the cold? I would have found that absolutely frightening.
We coped.
Yeah. You learn to layer your clothing. It's very, very warm inside. Like you can see Marlee dressed now, and I've just got a jacket on because I've just come in. But outside at the moment, it's about -3 today.
Good.
And we just have a huge coat, which is it goes down to about a -30 temperature type coat. So you just put that on over the top and off you go with your snow boots and your toque and your ear muffs and your gloves and whatever else, your scarves, whatever else you can find, and off you go. But when you get to somebody's house, you just get rid of all that, and you've usually got just a T-shirt, and because it's very, very warm inside.
So
and
central heating?
Central heating in most places. Other places have what they call furnaces. We here at the unit have in-ground heating under the floor, which is as warm as a toaster.
Right. Now, how's that run? You're talking about climate change and all that sort of thing. What powers the central heating in most places over there? Is it gas or coal?
I really can't, but I think it's electricity done with the hot water.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Thermal electricity.
I don't know. I think so, yes. We just enjoy the warmth. But everywhere is very, very warm. When we first arrived, we were always hot, other than when you're outside. But we've learnt now to layer, and it works well.
Now, you said on your head you put a... Now, what did you call the thing you put on your head when you went out?
That's a toque.
A toque. Now, what's
it's like a beanie.
Oh, okay. A toque.
Well, it's just like a beanie.
Oh, okay.
You can tell we've been in Canada too long. We're using their slang.
Yeah. They don't call them beanies. They just say, run and get your toque or whatever. And it's just like a beanie, any sort of a hat to keep warm.
Okay. Marlee, going back to the school, now, do you have to take your lunch, or do they provide lunch? It's being so cold, I'm just sort of curious what happens at lunchtime.
Yeah, we have a big cafeteria, so eating area, and yes, most kids take their lunch, and if not, they can just go to the canteen and they'll serve you a hot lunch.
Right, is that an expensive way to do it or not?
It's expensive enough, yeah.
Right, so you cut your sandwiches in the morning, don't you?
Yes, I do. Or I can take like a meal that I can heat up, because they have microwaves in the cafeteria. So a lot of people do that as well.
Right. Okay, now...
So canteen being open all the time.
Yeah, the canteen's open all the time. So from the beginning of school to the end. And they serve you breakfast and lunch and afternoon tea.
Oh dear, no wonder you're coming back so slim. The when you come back to Australia, what is the first thing you're going to do? The very first thing when you set foot in at home in your place, what are you going to do? The very first thing.
Probably go on the motorbike and go for a drive out the back. Oh, boots on.
Yeah, well, it'll be short. It's actually raining here today.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Which is probably not going to turn the farmers on much, because they're in the middle of trying to get canola off and so forth. But it is quite dark here today. Now, okay.
Well, we're having a schnook here today.
How are you coming back to Australia? Is it sort of a single flight stop in Hawaii, or what's the route you're using?
We'll fly from Calgary all the way to LA, and then we have a couple of days in Disneyland, and then we'll fly on to Sydney.
Okay, and then hopefully you'll be able to walk all the way back to Cowra, because it's not far.
That's the plan.
Wheel drive is cool. On the correct side of the road, home from Sydney to Cowra.
Now, Marlee, you've got a licence now too, haven't you?
I do. Over here I do.
Right, now, so is that what difficult to be to get a licence there? 16 or 17?
No, you have to be 14 to get your licence.
Goodness. And you're 16, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Right, so that's going to be interesting. You had a licence over there, and then you come over to here. Now, you won't be able to drive for, 12 months or whatever it is?
No, I should be able to go for my licence the day that I get home, hopefully.
So you'll still be under 17 though, won't you?
It'll be her L plate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Her learner.
Right. I'm with you. Yeah. Okay. That's so. So over there at the moment, you can actually drive around wherever you like. Is that the way your licence works?
No, I do have to have a passenger in the, like, driving with me. Yeah.
So it's a bit like an L plate over here, I guess.
Mhm.
But you
Right.
don't have to display any L plates over here, nor are you subject to any particular speed, which I think is an excellent idea because they get more experience by driving in the conditions over here. Marlee has driven in rain, hail, shine, snow, and she's driven at the pace that everybody else has driven. And she's done it very well because she's had an excellent teacher in her mother.
Okay, I'm glad you're not boasting. That's excellent. I like that. Nice little modesty. That's terrific. Okay, now, so when you come back, so you'll be able to get your L plates. Well, I suppose if you gave them a rundown on your experience, Marlee, if you can't get your licence other than driving on the wrong side of the road, you shouldn't have a problem, should you?
Oh, Gary, yep. You kind of read my mind there. I do hope to tell them the things that I have been up to and experienced, and hopefully they'll lean my way a bit, but the RTA being the RTA...
It could well be completely different, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
I have documented it all. I've got it all written down. We have all the necessary paperwork, so hopefully it will all just go through without any problem.
Because you don't have to log your hours over here either.
Yeah, well, I think they've just changed the amount of hours you got to log. And the funny thing is, when your mum got her licence and I got my licence, there was none of that either. Was there? Absolutely none.
That's right, yes.
And you got your licence at 17, you can do 1,000,000 miles an hour if you really wanted to, other than breaking the speed limits.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it is over here too. And I really feel that it is a very good idea because it teaches the children so much better than what it does when the situation is that the children can only drive at 80 kilometres an hour or whatever, and then they jolly well get their licence and they go like Billy-O, and they've no idea how to control the situation.
That's probably right too. The other thing I meant to ask you, Marlee, earlier when we were talking about the school, what sort of options to play sport did you have?
Well, I haven't played sport while I've been over here. I've been more into the academic side of things. But you can do hockey, ice hockey, basketball, football, which is gridiron, and they do curling too, which is kind of like lawn bowls on ice.
Right, that'd be interesting. Curling, I think that comes from Ireland, doesn't it? Wasn't it curling?
I'm not
from
too
Ireland?
sure, but some people say it is interesting, and others say it's a bit boring.
Right, you didn't hook into baseball.
No, I didn't do baseball, but that's an option as well.
Right, okay. Well, listen, thank you for spending that time, and thank you very much for all those postcards you've sent over. I'll just let you know the last postcard you sent, I think the term is went viral. There were 500 or 600 people actually clicked just on that story. So remember I said to you the other day you're a very popular little possum. I don't know whether it was the mention of Halloween or what it was, but it went absolutely berserk. So thank you very much for those, and on behalf of all the people who have looked forward to your postcards coming, thank you very much. And when you come back to Australia, of course, we're going to have a morning tea and a longer chat. How would that be?
Yep, sounds great, Gary.
And thank you, Gary, for the opportunity as well, because you do a wonderful job in what you do. Here we are on the other side of the world, and Cara Community News is the bestest thing ever. We know more about Cara being here than a lot of people who live in Cara, I'm sure.
I thank you very much for that. It's very kind of you. So Marlee and Wendy, thank you very much for spending that time with us and brightening us up on what happens in Canada at this time of the year and how you stay warm when it gets to minus 20 degrees. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people here who will be just keen as mustard to go over and experience Canada. Because Canada and Australia, of course, are not that much dissimilar in a lot of ways, are they?
Correct. No.
Okay.
It's a very easy place to live over here, and the people are wonderful.
Right, and I'm sure Canadians who come over, I suppose, Marlee, you've lined up some Canadians to come visiting a care at some stage?
An endless list. They just have to follow it through.
you'll have a boarding house out at your place.
We will. We'll look forward to that.
Okay, thank you very much, and we'll sign off now. Thank you very much.
Good day.
Thanks, Gary. Bye.
Bye.